everyone, I'm Alma Angeles and you're watching NET25 World News. On tonight's headline, a horrific plane crash has claimed the lives of all 61 people on board. A regional turboprop plane plummeted to the ground in a residential area near Sao Paulo, Brazil. Shocking video captured the aircraft spiraling out of control before impact. Aviation experts say the plane experienced a catastrophic flat spin.
What I saw was the wreckage of the plane. All that was left was the cabin. I even saw the videos they sent me of the body burning there.
The news starts now. First in our news, a regional turboprop plane fell into what aviation experts called a flat spin before crashing in a residential neighborhood near Sao Paulo in Brazil today, killing all 61 people on board. Regional carrier Vopas said the plane, bound for Sao Paulo's international airport, took off from Cascavel in the state of Paraná and crashed at around 1:30 p.m. in the town of Vinhedo, some 80 kilometers northwest of Sao Paulo. Video shared on social media showed the ATR-72 aircraft spinning out of control as it plunged down behind a cluster of trees near houses, followed by a large plume of black smoke.
What I saw was the wreckage of the plane. All that was left was the cabin. I even saw the videos they sent me of the body burning there. I also saw a lot of people broke into the condominium to make videos. A very sad scene, the plane catching fire. It was very sad. I arrived when it happened and just thought about praying and asking these people for protection, because that's what they needed.
City officials at Valinhos near Vinhedo said there were no survivors and only one home in the local condominium complex had been damaged while none of the residents were hurt. The plane's unusual final circling motion before hitting the ground triggered widespread curiosity among aviation experts, especially given the lack of obvious bad weather. But by the end of the day, investigators said it was too early to determine the cause. The head of Brazilian Aviation Accident Investigation Center, CENIPA, said that the plane's so-called black box containing voice recordings and flight data had been recovered from the site. U.S. aviation safety expert Anthony Brickhouse said investigators would look at things like weather and whether the engines and controls were functioning properly as they examine causes for the loss of control in flight. Flight radar data showed significant gyrations in speed before the crash, according to U.S. aviation safety consultant and former commercial pilot John Cox, cautioning that he would want to verify the data, but that something really significant happened to cause the plane to spin when it came down. Iran is set to carry out an order by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to harshly punish Israel over the assassination of a Hamas leader in Tehran. A Revolutionary Guard's deputy commander was quoted as saying on Friday by local news agencies. The Supreme Leader's orders regarding the harsh punishment of Israel and revenge for the blood of martyr Ismail Haniyeh are clear and explicit, and they will be implemented in the best possible way, according to Ali Fadavi, cited by Iranian media.
امروز دقت در سلاح‌ها در نیروی دریایی، سرعت عمل سامانه‌ها و شناورها، هوشمندی، تحرک و چالاکی جزء مسلم توان دریایی ما محسوب میشه.
مقابله با جنگ الکترونیک ما سامانه‌هایی رو در همین الحاق آوردیم که انشالله عملاً به امروز با دست در واقع فرمانده محترم و حضور ایشون به مجموعه واگذار خواهد شد.
Iran and Palestinian Islamist group Hamas accused Israel of carrying out Haniyeh's assassination on July 31. Israel hasn't claimed or denied responsibility for the killing, which has fueled further concern that the war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip was turning into a wider Middle East war. Asked by reporters to respond to Fadavi's remarks, White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said the U.S. was ready to defend Israel with plenty of resources in the region.
Look, when the Supreme Leader says he's going to avenge, we have to take that seriously. Now, I don't know what they're going to do or when they're going to do it, but we got to make darn sure that we're ready and that we have the capabilities in the region to be able to help Israel defend itself and, quite frankly, defend our own people, our own facilities, our own national security interests.
Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio has issued a poignant call for global peace, urging the world to make Nagasaki the last place to suffer an atomic bombing. His remarks were made during a memorial ceremony in Nagasaki, which marks the 79 years since the city was devastated by an atomic bomb just 3 days after the attack on Hiroshima. In his address, Kishida emphasized that the tragedies of Hiroshima and Nagasaki must never be repeated. He underscored Japan's mission as the only nation to have experienced wartime atomic bombing, saying it's their duty to strive for a world without nuclear weapons through consistent and practical efforts. Kishida also highlighted the growing challenges to nuclear disarmament, noting that global divisions and nuclear threats from countries like Russia make his call for peace even more critical today.
核軍縮をめぐる国際社会の分断の深まりや、ロシアによる核の威嚇と核軍縮をめぐる情勢が一層厳しさを増している今だからこそ、長崎を最後の被爆地にと世界へ強く訴え続けてまいります。
ロシアのウクライナ侵攻に終わりが見えず、中東での武力紛争の拡大が懸念される中、これまで守られてきた重要な規範が失われるかもしれない。私たちはそんな危機的な事態に直面しているのです。
Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department reiterated its commitment to remembering the victims of the atomic bombings. However, State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller explained that U.S. Ambassador Rahm Emanuel would not attend the ceremony in Nagasaki due to the absence of an invitation for the Israeli ambassador. The U.S. Embassy in Japan stated that Emanuel conveyed to the Nagasaki mayor that the decision not to invite the Israeli ambassador was political, emphasizing the importance of including all ambassadors in such events.
Look, we thought it was important that the Israeli ambassador be invited, as the ambassadors of other countries have been invited, that no country that, should have been singled out to not be invited to this celebration, and that's why the ambassador took the step that he did, and I presume why the ambassadors of other countries took the steps that they did in deciding not to attend.
But in terms of, to play the devil's advocate, in terms of historic responsibility, obviously the U.S. dropped the bomb in Nagasaki. Was it particularly significant for the U.S. to be there? I realize he was there at the Hiroshima.
Look, he was there, and obviously multiple different presidents of the United States have spoken to this, have attended events commemorating that solemn event, and I think our position on it and our respect for Japan when it comes to this anniversary is well documented and goes far beyond the ambassador not attending one event.
Sure.
According to two European intelligence sources who spoke to Reuters, dozens of Russian military personnel are currently undergoing training in Iran to operate the FAT-360 close-range ballistic missile system. It's anticipated that hundreds of these satellite-guided weapons will soon be delivered to Russia for its involvement in the conflict in Ukraine. The sources indicated that representatives from the Russian Defense Ministry signed a contract in Tehran with Iranian officials on December 13 for the FAT-360 and another ballistic missile system called the Ababil, both developed by Iran's government-owned Aerospace Industries Organization, or AIO. They also stated that the Russian personnel have visited Iran to receive training on the FAT-360 defense system, which is capable of launching missiles up to 100 kilometers with a warhead of 150 kilograms. Now, one of the sources emphasized that the next likely step after training would be the actual delivery of the missiles to Russia. In response to this development, a spokesperson for the U.S. National Security Council warned that the U.S., its NATO allies, and G7 partners are prepared to deliver a swift and severe response if Iran proceeds with such transfers. Meanwhile, Russia has bolstered its southern Kursk region with extra tanks, artillery, and rocket systems in response to Ukraine's military incursion. Ukrainian forces have shared a video claiming control of a town near the border, providing visual evidence of their cross-border advances.
Бажаю здоров'я з міста Суджа. Новини в нас такі: місто контролюється Збройними силами України. В місті спокій. Всі будинки, всі міста цілі. Стратегічний об'єкт «Газпром» в місті Суджа контролюється 99-м механізованим батальйоном 61-ї окремої степової бригади. Всім мирного неба. Слава Україні!
Additionally, a video on social media showed burnt-out Russian military trucks with some containing casualties in the Kursk region. The acting governor of Kursk reported drone debris falling near a nuclear power station, causing a temporary power outage. The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency urged restraint due to the conflict's proximity to the station, and Russian diplomats in Vienna informed the IEA about fragments found near the station but denied an attack. Russian news agencies announced anti-terrorism measures in Kursk, Bryansk, and Belgorod regions in response to Ukraine's actions.
Video posted on social media on Friday and verified by Reuters showed a convoy of burnt-out Russian military trucks along a highway in the Kursk region of southern Russia. It's the latest sign of the destruction after Ukrainian forces staged a major cross-border incursion this week. Ukrainian forces burst across the border on Tuesday in a shock counteroffensive after months of gradual Russian advances in eastern Ukraine. The operation, while limited in scope, has managed to bring the war to a number of Russian towns and cities. In response to the incursion, Russia on Friday declared a state of emergency in the Kursk region, and the Ministry of Emergencies released this video of Russian civilians evacuating. Russia's military chief of staff Valery Gerasimov reported to President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday that Russian troops had halted the advance and would push the Ukrainians back to the border. The Defense Ministry released this video on Friday, claiming to show its forces destroying Ukrainian armored vehicles in the Kursk region. But official statements, accounts from military bloggers, and videos posted on social media indicated Russia was still struggling to achieve that goal, nearly 48 hours later. The Ukrainian military on Thursday released this video purporting to show Russian soldiers surrendering at a border crossing. Ukrainian officials have not commented directly on the operation, but asserted the right to defend themselves by striking Russia wherever it posed a threat. Russian President Vladimir Putin called the operation a serious escalation. Ukraine's primary ally, Washington, has pressured Kyiv not to launch long-range attacks on Russia directly. But Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh on Thursday said Ukraine's incursion into Kursk was, quote, consistent with U.S. policy.
They are taking actions to protect themselves from attacks that are coming from a region that are within the U.S. policy of where they can operate.
Meanwhile, in another front in the fight, Ukrainian officials said Russian artillery hit a supermarket in the Ukrainian town of Konstantinivka in the frontline Donetsk region on Friday. Ukrainian officials said that 10 people were killed and 35 were injured.
Africa's public health agency is on the verge of declaring a medical emergency due to the rapid spread of Mpox, with a new variant crossing the borders of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Mpox, transmitted through close contact, presents flu-like symptoms and pus-filled lesions. While most cases are mild, it can be fatal. The new variant, the Clade 1B, predominantly circulating in Congo, appears to be more transmissible, particularly among children. According to the African Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Director General Jean Kasia reported cases in Africa have surged by 79%.
60% of cases are children under 15. And if we increase to those who are under 18, we are talking about more than 70% of cases. And we know that there is this sexual transmission. This one is a major alarm for the world. We are losing the youth in Africa.
I don't know how or by whom my child had been contaminated. I just watched helplessly as the symptoms appeared on her body.
And of these, 50% are even less than 5 years old. Up to the age of 18, that's 95% of the cases. So you can see that the over 18s are just 5%.
Furthermore, other countries such as Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya, previously unaffected by Mpox, have now reported cases of the new variant since mid-July.
We've already seen that the virus has now rapidly been documented in 4 new countries that had never reported before. And we've also seen what can happen in the global outbreak that began in 2022, where many countries were affected in a very short period of time. So we can't predict for sure what will happen, but we can anticipate that there are different scenarios and need to be prepared for that risk.
We live in an interconnected world, and these pathogens do not respect borders. So I just want to get across the urgency that we're trying to say that the action is now, the time is now for us to take much more measures and provide much more support to the African region, to the countries that are affected across the entire spectrum, from surveillance to prevention to risk communication to clinical care to infection prevention control to R&D to the use of vaccines. It's now.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, has also issued a second health alert to notify clinicians and health departments about the deadly new strain. In response to the situation, the Africa CDC has received $10.4 million in emergency funding from the African Union for its Mpox response. Meanwhile, WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has committed to convene an emergency committee to deliberate on whether the outbreak in Congo constitutes a public health emergency of international concern.
The committee will meet as soon as possible and will be made up of independent experts from a range of relevant disciplines from around the world.
The Philippine and Vietnamese Coast Guards teamed up for their first joint firefighting and search and rescue exercises off Manila. This marks the first time the Coast Guards of these two countries, which have been in disputes with Beijing in South China Sea, have conducted such joint drills. Vietnam's 90-meter-long ship CSB 8002, which arrived in Manila earlier this week, participated in the inaugural drills along the Philippine offshore patrol vessel BRP Gabriela Silang. The exercises included simulated drills in firefighting, rescue, and medical response. And these drills represent the latest collaborative effort by the two countries amid their ongoing disputes with Beijing over territory in the South China Sea.
At least ito magkakaroon po tayo ng magandang collaboration, cooperation with yun nga sa mga claimant ng West Philippine Sea. And being an ASEAN nation also, na maganda na magkaroon tayo ng at least yung bang isang direction, no?
Beijing has claimed sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea, deploying a large Coast Guard presence in areas that include the exclusive economic zones of neighboring countries.
Ang ating pong ginawang exercise po kanina is more on humanitarian, no? Firefighting, search and rescue, life-saving. No, so we hope na itong activity na ganito mas maparami pa, mas ma-enhance kasi napakalawak po ng ating karagatan, no? And marami pong nangangailangan ng tulong ng Coast Guard.
To the US now, where Harris and Walz take the fight to Arizona in a White House bid. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz sharply criticized former President Donald Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and its aftermath. Take a look.
As governors, he froze during COVID and pitted us in a hunger game against our neighbors to try and find basic life-saving needs. And because of him, our neighbors died. By failing to address COVID, he drove the economy into the ground. And let's be very clear. The statistics and the facts are clear about this. Violent crime was up under Donald Trump. And we don't even have to count his crimes in that to make it up. So, still.
And Vice President Kamala Harris, addressing a crowd, emphasized the importance of unity and respect for all voices as she reiterated her call for a ceasefire and a resolution to the hostage crisis, while also reaffirming the commitment to fight for democracy.
To whom You know what? Hold on a second. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Here's the thing. We are all in here together. I'm told an extraordinary number of folks who are here together because we love our country. We're here to fight for our democracy. Which includes respecting the voices that I think that we are hearing from. And let me just say this on topic of what I think I'm hearing over there. Let me just speak to that for a moment, and then I'm going to get back to the business at hand. So let me say, I have been clear. Now is the time to get a ceasefire deal and get the hostage deal done. Now is the time.
If you can't do a press conference, you cannot be president, okay? That's it. She doesn't do it. Remember when I used to always walk up to the press under the helicopter or under the wing of the plane and talk to them? I loved it because if I didn't like their question, I could say, I can't hear the helicopters. But they do mini versions of it. Nobody ever did that before, you know. That was it. And they copy, everybody copies me. So now she walks up, she'll take like a half a question, and she'll leave. Joe is bad. Joe couldn't hear, he couldn't do anything. 4 years, Joe Biden's mental incompetence has given Harris a free rein to impose her ultra-liberal agenda on America and others with her and destroy our country. You're destroying our country. Joe Biden was exposed during the debate. Likewise, Kamala will be exposed during the debate. She will be exposed during the debate, or debates. But so far, she's refusing to debate. We want to have a debate. As Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz led rioters and looters burn down Minneapolis. Remember CNN? They're right back there. Watch. Oh, there goes their light. Their light just went off. While the governor's wife opened the windows to the mansion to enjoy the smell of the fire, she said, the smell is so beautiful, I love it. I wonder where she's coming from. Walz said that socialism is just another word for neighborliness. She wants to be, he calls them neighbors, good neighbors. He signed a bill to give illegal aliens free health care. He abolished Columbus Day. He ordered tampons to be put into boys' bathrooms. Do we have any children here? Please close your ears. He ordered tampons in boys' bathrooms, okay? He signed a law letting the state kidnap children to change their gender so that they go home. But I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about her. This is her ideology. That's why she picked him.
The remnants of Hurricane Debbie are continuing to cause havoc across the eastern United States. Heavy rains are pummeling the mid-Atlantic and New England with flash flood warnings in effect from Maryland all the way up to Vermont. Debbie, once a powerful Category 1 hurricane, has weakened to a post-tropical depression but is still packing a punch. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has declared a state of emergency as the storm moves through the state.
This is the peak of hurricane season. It is getting longer, more sustained than we've ever had. I was literally governor for 2 weeks, 3 years ago this month. We had not one but two hurricanes, more than the state of Florida had. I was out here the weekend before I became governor. We had the warnings that there was a storm coming this way. I was literally on the beaches saying, go home, get out of here, it's coming, because I was so frightened of what could happen here as well. So we are in hurricane season. We are also in tornado season. Did you ever know we have tornado season in the state of New York? In the month of July, we had 23 tornadoes in the state of New York, more than every state in Tornado Alley combined.
And despite the severe weather, some New Yorkers are taking it in stride.
It's regular New York weather every day. It's supposed to be like this all week, sadly, but I give it about like till tomorrow. Tomorrow, Sunday, the weather gonna be nice again. Right now, it's real foggy. but it's supposed to be like that all day. No, actually the wind is great. If it wasn't for this wind, it would be real hot right now. It would be real hot and humid.
I'm working on the job outside over there, so.
And how's the weather?
Yeah, it's windy, you know, we're on a construction site, so everything's getting strapped down, so.
Oh, really? Oh, to make sure it doesn't blow away?
Yeah, yeah.
So. Are you worried about a big storm coming or anything?
No, not really.
But the storm's impact has been devastating in other areas. At least 8 people have lost their lives and countless homes and businesses have been damaged. As Debbie continues its trek out to sea this weekend, emergency crews are working tirelessly to help those affected by the storm. Street art sensation Banksy has been keeping London guessing this week with a flurry of new murals. It started with the lone goat on a precarious ledge, and then came a pair of elephant heads peering out of windows, followed by 3 mischievous monkeys, and just yesterday a howling wolf appeared on a satellite dish. Each piece has sparked a wave of speculation online about the elusive artist's message. Some believe it's a commentary on the recent unrest in the country, while others see it as a warning about the state of the planet. Unfortunately, the latest piece, the wolf, has already been stolen.
Well, I heard it just after 1 o'clock that Banksy had released a new mural down here on Rye Lane, so it came down about 20 to 2, quarter to 2, and by that point there was already 4 lads having it away.
So you saw the footage of them. Just describe how they got it.
Well, I think they come equipped with a ladder, so they managed to shimmy up the right-hand side there. One went up top, passed it down to the other 3, and they ran around the corner and popped it in a van.
And police are already investigating. Banksy has a history of using his art to address social and environmental issues. Will we soon learn if these latest works are part of a bigger picture? Pasadena, California's Social Retro Gaming Expo is a haven for gaming enthusiasts, featuring classic video games, consoles, rare collectibles, and intense pro tournaments. The event is a must-attend for retro gamers. Join Eva and Alan as they explore the excitement.
In an age where your video game collection didn't live on the cloud, passionate gamers either had to head down to the local arcade or hunker down with pixel-heavy home console titles.
And for one weekend, the nostalgia and spirit of classic gaming is rekindled, courtesy of the SoCal Retro Gaming Expo.
Even the younger generations, they come with their dads that play with these games when they were little, and then seeing them introduced to the younger generations their classic games, it just feels good to kind of help with that myself. That I bring the stuff for them to be able to share it with them. So pass on the torch.
A lot of the items that we have on display here are catalog promotional items that you could only get when you mail away. And these items have become highly collectible and very hard to obtain for certain pieces. So a lot of the clothing pieces you'll see actually do come out of the Nintendo Power Supplies catalog. It's pretty enjoyable to see people come through and appreciate the exhibit and to share the same level of enthusiasm that I have for the clothing. So just really having everyone come around and to kind of give off a positive aura and just to be excited for the display it's very rewarding.
Also rewarding was the big money payout at this year's Classic Tetris World Championship.
Right now, $25,000 prize pool available for the top players, and it continues to grow. These people are playing 3 hours, 4 hours a day in preparation for this event, but then also playing 1 to 2 hours just to stay fresh and on the online events and circuits to continue becoming a pro Tetris player, winning multiple prizes. It takes a village. Join the community. We'll help you get there.
At this event, picking up that game you missed out on in your youth is a real possibility.
But you may want to decide on a spending cap before proceeding. Otherwise, you may need a wheelbarrow to haul away all of your gaming treasure.
Reporting from the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California, Eva and Alan for NET25 World News.
Algeria's Iman Khalif beat China's Yang Liu to claim the gold medal in the women's welterweight boxing at the Olympics on Friday. Kilif, a silver medalist at the 2022 World Championships, and Taiwanese boxer Lin Yungting have been in the spotlight at the Paris Games amid a gender dispute that has dominated headlines. Now, Janjim Suwanpeng of Thailand and Taiwan's Chen Nian-chin were awarded bronze. Uzbekistan's Lazizbek Mulojanov won gold in the men's heavyweight boxing by unanimous decision, leaving Azerbaijan's Lauren Alfonso with silver. Tajikistan's Davlat Boltayev and Emmanuel Reyes of Spain took bronze after their semi-final defeats.
بطبيعة الحال أظن أنني استعدت شرفي، ولكن الأشياء اللي قاموا بها في مواقع التواصل الاجتماعي هي أشياء تخل بالحياء، أشياء ما عندهاش معنى، ما تمس كرامة الناس، تقدر حتى تغير ذهن وتفكير العالم. الحمد لله أنا قدرت نتجاوز هذه الفترة. بالنسبة للاتحاد الدولي للملاكمة، أظن أنني من سنة 2018 وأنا أمارس الملاكمة مع الاتحاد الدولي للملاكمة إيبيا. هذا هو يعرفني جيدا، يعرف قدراتي، يعرفني أنه كيفاش كنت وكيفاش وليت. أنا ما نسمعش لهذا الاتحاد، هو اتحاد غير معترف به. هنالك عديد من الأشخاص يكرهونني لا أعلم السبب، ولكن أنا اليوم رسلت لهم رسالة واحدة، هي الميدالية الذهبية. أقول لهم شرفي فوق كل شيء. شكرا لك.
And Carlos Yula's historic Olympic victory sent shockwaves of pride and joy throughout the Filipino diaspora, including the vibrant community in Corpus Christi, Texas. Jane Kathleen Gregorio reports.
While Paris, France might be 4,600 miles away from the United States, Filipinos and Filipino Americans living here in the U.S. have reason to celebrate as they share their reactions to gymnast Carlos Yulo winning not one, but 2 gold medals, a historic milestone for their home country of the Philippines. Let's hear what these viewers have to say.
It's a history in the making. So we're so proud of him. We also here in the Corpus Christi, all the Filipinos, the Filipino community supports him.
When I found out that the Philippines won gold in the Paris Olympics, I was so happy. Congratulations, Carlos Yulo, you made us all proud.
I was crying in the process, because it's like I am so proud. I'm so proud of one of our Filipino people, gold medal in the Olympics.
Here at Washington, D.C., as an OFW, I'm so proud kay Carlos Yulo for winning the gold medal sa 2024 Olympics. He only proved na iba ang Pinoy. The perseverance, the dedication, and the eagerness to bring honor to our home country. Go Pinoy!
I believe it's our second gold. When Carlos Yulo won the gold, it just shows that we can really now compete in the international level, that as Filipinos, we can show to the world that our talent are world-class.
Sinabi niya sa akin ng asawa ko na nanalo Pilipinas, tuwan-tuwa ako, napalundag ako sa tuwa. Biro mo sa dinami ng mga lumaban siya ang nanalo.
It's overwhelming actually. Watching that video kind of gave me that proud moment, and I kind of want to cry for him because it's so it's awe-inspiring, and I'm just really proud that I'm a Filipino.
As somebody who's lived overseas almost a little over half of my life, I think it's just amazing to see your kababayan, take that stage and then just raise the flags. Carlos Yulo, thank you for raising the Philippine flag, and thank you for putting us on that stage right there. We are with you as you have received your gold medals, and we're just so proud of you.
Meanwhile, stay tuned for further updates. In Corpus Christi, Texas, I'm Jane Kathleen Gregorio, NET25 World News.
And with that, we end tonight's broadcast. For everyone here on NET25, I'm Alma Angeles. Thank you all for joining us. Good night.